other colleagues, office bearers, spokesperson, ikai khumna jabu chari maroina press and media ki sinau sing and ikai khumna jabu chari ngasi gi press conference asi ngarang June gi 25 aduga Manipur gi BJP की थंबाल संगलेन अमसुंग भारत की मफम खुदिमकता ब्लैक डे 1975 ता नेशनल इमरजेंसी लाथोखिबा अमसुंग बीजेपी की लीडर्स सिंह ना कांग्रेस पार्टी दा ओइदबा मयाम अमा एखोय चार्ज तौरपा दुगुंबा मयाम तुगी मरी लेनना थमजबनी 1975 की अखोई इमरजेंसी नेशनल इमरजेंसी मतमदुगी प्रधानमंत्री इंदिरा गांधी जी ना प्रधानमंत्री ओरिङैदा लाउथोंबसिदी यामना मतमदुगी तंगाई फदबा अदिगुंबा लैबदगी लाउथोखिबनी मदुगी लाउथोखिबा नेशनल इमरजेंसी सी 9 जून की 25 अमसुंग 26 की कनोदा 25 की अहिंग देगी लाउथोगा 26 ते गेदिगुंबा चनबा होकिबा 1975 की नेशनल इमरजेंसी सी भारत की संविधान दा पीबा अमसुंग मदुगी प्रोविजन दा लेबा आर्टिकल 352 दा पीबा लाउथोक्तबा याददना अदिगुंबा लाउथोखिबा अमनी मदु लेजिटिमेट ओइबा आइन याबा मतमदुगी काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर ना कैबिनेट डिसीजन लौरबा मतुंग पार्लियामेंट होबा मतुंग दा लाउथोखिबा देना थमजरबदा करिगी लाउथोखिबा नेशनल इमरजेंसी नो हाइरबदी बीजेपी अमसुंग मसिगी आरएसएस ना भारत पुनमक्ता इरांग थोहलकपा अमगा हेट्रेड इच अदर अमगा नुसिना हंदबा स्टेट खुदिमक्ता चतुना कांग्रेस की शासन मुथनबो होनरकपा गुजरात रायोट अदगी हेट्रेड तौरपदगी अमगा नुसिना दबदगी इरांग वायलेंस मयाम अमा थोलकपा बिहार दा थोलकपा यूपी दा थोलकपा अदिगुंबा मयाम सिंह अदगी भारत की सेना सिंह बीजेपी अमसुंग आरएसएस ना मतमदुदा सरकार दा ओनझलगा इरांग हौननबा भारत की सेना सिंह सिपाही सिंह दा पुलिस फोर्स मयाम सिंह दा इंझलकपा तोंगान प्रोडक्शन मयाम पोथोक पुथोकतननबा इंझलकपा अदिगुंबा लाइबाक सिगी एंटी नेशनल ओइबा मयाम अमा अदिगुंबा भारत सिदा क्याउस थोलकपदगी तंगाई फदना यामना लेजिटिमेट ओइबा अदिगुंबा 1975 ता लाउथोखिबा इमरजेंसी दो मदु अखोइना ब्लैक डे नि हाइना हाइबसी अंगकपा फावि मदु संविधान पीबा प्रोविजन अमगी आर्टिकल 352 की प्रोविजन अमनी मदु दै खोइ थुदोंना nganglingai लेति लुरिबा वाफमदी नरेंद्र मोदी बीजेपी की लैंगागसी 2014 दा लाखबदगिना हौजी फाउदा 11 years पास सही तरामाथोय हौख्रबसिदा हौजिक्सी अनडिक्लेयर नेशनल इमरजेंसी नि हौजी खोइ थेंगरिबसी हौजी ngasi की लैंगागसीदा ngasi की लैंगागसी की मखादा नेट इंडिया अमसुंग स्टेट सिंगदा लोइना मणिपुर दा थेंगरिबा तोंगान वायलेंस अमगा नुसिनदबा नारुल सिंगदावा पिरकपा फ्रीडम ऑफ द प्रेस मसिना इमरजेंसी लाउथोक्तना मिपुम खुदिंगमकी प्रेस सिंगी जर्नलिस्ट सिंगी फ्रीडम ऑफ अखोइगी स्पीच अदगी जर्नलिस्ट सिंगी हक राइट मयाम सी ओपन होइना मतली हौकिबा जनवरी की फेब्रुआरी की 13 दा मणिपुर दा एग्जांपल होना हायरबदा प्रेसिडेंट रूल इम्पोज तौद्रिङै ममांग जर्नलिस्ट कया मणिपुर दा फाखरे तोंगान तोंगान मागी इंडिविजुअल कमेंट अमसुंग लेबाक सिगी ओइबा अवा अना नहारोल सिंगी मयाम फोंदोकजबदा जर्नलिस्ट कया फारगा जेल दा लेखिबा एनएसए तारगा लेखिबा मयाम ची मसी अनडिक्लेयर इमरजेंसी अनडिक्लेयर प्रेसिडेंट रूल अदुम अखोइगी सरकार पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट लेरिङै थोखरे लोइना ngasiदी असिगुम्बा अनडिक्लेयर अखोइगी इमरजेंसी से भारत पुनमक्ता लैबसिना मरम ओरकांदा ऑल इंडिया कांग्रेस कमिटी ना संविधान बचाओ हाइबसी अखोइना कैंपेन जी across the nation as well as to the state of Manipur. Manipur da zathar matamda more than 600 संविधान बचाओ program campaign si zathar khre. Manipur da संविधान बचाओ program 18 numbers of संविधान बचाओ program ai pangthu khre. Masida BJP na ki iba phawrokpa adegi oidaba mayam ama series of lies मियाम प्रजाद नमथाक तौबा अमगा अमगा नुसिनदबा मयाम दो एक्सपोज तौरपा संविधान बचाओ की कैंपेन दा मदुदा कीबा फावरपदेगी असिगुम्बा अखोइगी संविधान अखोइगी बचाओ प्रोग्राम से किरकपदेगी नेशनल असिगुम्बा इमरजेंसी लाउथोकीबसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन किलिंग डे अदगी ब्लैक डे हैने पांगथोरैसि मसिगी अदिगुम्बा मरी लेना पांगथोरपनी हैने लौदबा ngamde लोइना तोंगान तोंगान बा नहारोल सिंह थबक पिरक्रे हौजी नेशनल की थाकता 2014 दा सही अमदा करोड़ अनि अनि थबक पिगनी नहा सिंह दा हाइखिबनी अदगी स्विट्जरलैंड की ब्लैक मनी अखोगी पोरागा मिपुम खुदिमक्ता लाख 30 कुन पिनेना लाउथोकिबा नरेंद्र मोदी हौजी कराय चतखरे 2017 दा मी अमदा सही खुदिंगी सही अमदा 1.5 लाख थबक पिनी हाइखिबा हौजी कराय चतखरे मणिपुर दा नेशनल हाईवे सिंग फ्लाइट लैंडिंग कंडीशन दा थमगनी हाइखिबदु हौजी पु गाड़ी चतप यारिबा असिगुम्बा मयाम सिंग the series of violations of the constitution 2023 की मे अहुमदगी हौरगा ngasi chathariba manipur da hingsa gi thabak violence manipur da thengnariba hojik constitution sibu nga ibra where is freedom of movement where is justice for the journalists where is justice for the idps internet displaced people ngasi aikoi sahi ani henjalaba 700 it 5 days amuk changjala sidai sidai ngasi अखोई आईडीपी सिंह की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व तब ngамद्री डायलॉग ngasi बौते इनिशिएट तब लेत्री पॉलिटिकल पार्टी सिंह ngasi इंडिया गवर्नमेंट अमसुंग डबल इंजिन लेगा गसिना अखोई की तोंगान तोंगान बो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी सिंह फमिनरगा सॉल्यूशन तौरबो होनरक पर लेत्री ngaraang बीजेपी की थंबाल संगलेंदा हाइखिबा ऑनरेबल फॉर्मर चीफ मिनिस्टर ना हाइखिबदु ममांग की अखोई हौखिबा 2022 की इलेक्शन दा बीजेपी की मेजॉरिटी काखरे अदुगा देन 55 अखोई एनडी अलायंस ना लेंगा पाइरिबनी अदुगा कांग्रेस की ना मंगा खतनी अदुगा 55 पाइरिबा एक्जिस्टिंग एमएलएस 55 ता अमदी लाइबक थिगरे अदुगा अखोई 50 गा अखोई 4 लैरिबा लेगा असिना मथंग की सरकार लापदे बीजेपी ने 40 सीट कारनी हाइना लाउबो ngamiनी अंगकपनी हौजिक लैरिबा ताम लुइद्रिबा पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट लैबा सरकार से प्रेसिडेंट रूल दो लेगा पंगमदबदगी प्रेसिडेंट रूल लाखिबगी वानी अदुगा मथंग की ताम की हाना खनरिबा हौजिक मेजॉरिटी कमांड तौरिबा एमएलए मयाम असिना हौजिकी खनददना मथंगी 2027 इलेक्शन लाखपगी ओइना खनबसिदि ngaptaba ngamde amasung ngangthoraiba wafamdu मियामना तानिंगमगदरा तानिंगमोइदरा हाइबसिसु खंथफम थुएनि लौइ अदगी ऑनरेबल एक्स मिनिस्टर अमनसु फॉर्मर मिनिस्टर अमनसु तमाम संगलेन ख थंबीगिबदो मदुसु अगको फावे who is the responsibility of this present crisis हाइरगदी कांग्रेस ने हाइबीगे हाइरिब्राबा who is the responsibility of this present violence since 3rd May 2023 हाइरगदी सिगी डबल इंजिन लेंगाक सिने न हान खंबियोबा अदु मतुंगदा एमपी दसु चैबियु अदई अदु मतुंगदा कांग्रेस सु चैबियोबा खंतन ngangbदौन तौबसी लाइबथि प्रजाना ताबदा करी फिल तौरंगदगे हाइबसी मसी खंगगा ngangbiredi yam phani Honorable MP, अखोई इनर की MP दसु IDP सिंगी प्रॉब्लम सी वोट कारती सॉल्व तौनी हाइदना हाइबदो अइना not only to defense our Honorable MP Professor Vimol माना हाइबदुदी अखोई की प्रजा की दायित्व लौब याबदो लौबनी हाइबनेबा IDP अदेगी वायलेंस कनाना लुसिंगदबनो only MP ama anina losingadabra adubu ngangi dubu kari haina prajana khalamgadage amasung aikoina khanbadati angakpa phawe MP na aikoi myam prajana hogiba MP ki parliament election da vote kahan khibadudi myam prajana kahan khibadugi maramdi aikoi di sumaina loi 2023 ki May ki tang ahum dagi violence thorpa matamda मणिपुर की MP अनि राज्य सभा की MP अमा पार्लियामेंट वाब ngangan नु हाइन BJP ने थिंगबा मोदी ने थिंगी हाइदना वा ngang खितबतो अखोई की स्टेट असिगी अवाब ताब मतम द वाब पार्लियामेंट द ngang खितबतो मदु प्रजाना फील तबदगी वोट से मसी लोइना इमेरम सुंग आउटर MP वोट से लोइना प्रजा खुदिमक मानरगा लाख लाख हेलगा वोट से कहल पिरखिबने because of their failure in the parliament BJP की MP को फेल होबे की पिरखिबनेबा अदुगा responsibility जीदी हाउजी की डबल इंजिन BJP center BJP government in the center BJP government in the state double engine the responsibility lowdabne MP anina kari tawum doino by common sense MP anina kari tawum doino half the parliament da manipur ma leidi manipur ya wa leidi haidu lawdugi मधुगी दायित्व मयामदु लाउदुनेबा MP म्यामना होय तौरदि करिगुबा अखोई सरकार मतमदुगी पार्लियामेंट इलेक्शन दुदा मेजॉरिटी राहुल जी ने लुसिंगना सरकार सेमबदी था अमै मनुदा अखोई मणिपुर वायलेंस लोइसलमगनेबा मोदी ने सही अनि हेलाबो लोइसनु ngमदबसे अखोई मधुगी वादुदी अखोई यामना अखोई ताबदु नुमिंग हाइबदार मधुगी वाफम तो दायित्व याउदब स्टेटमेंट अमनी हाइने लौई लोइना ngasi hauji honorable former chief minister na ngangi bo wafam se masi mathangi 2027 nei duisi kari gino ba thauna le rabadi hauji ki assembly se dissolve tawsi aduga fresh election jeng nasi maramdi you fail your administration for the last more than 2 years. Sahi ani hai na lengak ngakung ngamdraba mi kaya sigrege yum kaya mangrege lengak ngakung ngamdraga mathangi election da majority absolute majority 40 MLA BJP ki kane ga na claim tawbasidi akhoi di masidi angang masana ngang badona ngang ba male aduna thauna le rabadi hauji assembly dissolve tawrasi अखोजु MLA ओइबा तोगे नोजु MLA ओइबा तो लेबा की दम खल कांदा डिसॉल्व तौबिरो अदुगो फ्रेश सिलेक्शन तौसे अजि BJP की लेगांग दा सुंग ngमद्रबा आफ्टर द imposition of the president rule सी मतुंग दजु होजि अहोंग बकरि त उदबा there is no free movement adegi IDPs are still suffering in the relief camp adegi hoji प्रजा सिंग मयाम वारिबा मयाम सिंग कई बु तौब ngमबिगे we have facing three major issues. One is violence na sohol mayam sing yam wari. Ani subada repeated flood affected flood ki problem sing wari. Housing financial crisis am tin sway. Praja sing am tin sway. Housing si angakpa phanga फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस से मणिपुर थेंगरी स्कीम जिंग फेल होरे लेहा को ngамद्रे प्रेसिडेंट रूल मतुंग दसु फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस अचुक चाउलो थेंगनरे अदु सुगुम्बा मयाम लैरिबा मयाम सिगुम्बागी इश्यू सिंचे सॉल्व तौरोबा सजेशन अदगी गवर्नमेंट अदगी बीजेपी की अखोई एमएलएस मयाम सिंग सजेशन तौर कांग्रेस दा ताइनाबा एमपी दा ताइनाबा very unnecessarily अखोई ब्लाइंडिंग टू द कांग्रेस पार्टी एंड द कांग्रेस एमपी आई सुमाइना सुम थमजनिंगी अदुगा अइना थमजनिंगी हौजिकती मणिपुर की फेलर से मणिपुर प्रजा सिंह थेंगरी वाफम से संविधान से नागलक्तबसिना मरम ओइकान थेंगरी वाफम खरमदी आई थमजगेबा अदो हौजिक लैरिबा अनडिक्लेयर इमरजेंसी अदगी अनडिक्लेयर प्रेसिडेंट रूल हेक बीजेपी लेंगाक लाखपसिदगी तोंगान तोंगान बे एजेंसी मयाम सिजनरगा पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट लैरिङैदसु opposition MLA दा bulldoze तौब केस पांजनबा FIR पांजनबा प्रेसमेन दा तौब मिचम प्रजासी दा फेसबुक ता कैनो हाइरुबगी FIR पांजनबा सिटी मसिंग थिनमदन लैग्रे हौजी होम डिपार्टमेंट मदुगी रिपोर्ट अमा कौरगा RTI थारगदी थोनो यामग्रगनी अदा हौजी कि असिगुम मयाम जिंजे मसिगी फेलर मयाम जिंजिना थोलिबनी हौजी लाइरबसिंग नोमगी हेन लाइरब हेंगले इना कुंब सिंह पैसा खरा पाहौबनी नोम नोम इना कुंब हेंगित खरे अंडर दिस डबल इंजिन गवर्नमेंट अंडर दिस प्रेसिडेंट रूल हौजिक प्रजा सिंह अंगक फुना याम थिन वारे फंडामेंटल राइट सिंह अखोई फंगदरे लाइरब प्रजा अमना हौजिक मपान द लाइंग बचतके हाइबदा फ्लाइट टिकट कक्प ngamdadna चटप ngamdaba मैम अम ले रूरल एरिया दा सिंह एरिया दा तोंगान तोंगान बा मसाई लोकल बॉडी इलेक्शन तौदबा मयाम सिंसी सही मंगा हेना इलेक्शन तौदबे एडीसी मसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन न पीब्रो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बीजेपी लेगाक्सना nga ibro पंचायत की इलेक्शन सही क्या सुरगे नगर पंचायत दे स्मॉल टाउन म्युनिसिपैलिटी की इलेक्शन तौदबा सही क्या सुरगे बीजेपी की पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट लेरिङैदगी नत्रो देन प्रेसिडेंट रूल प्रेसिडेंट रूल अदी इलेक्शन तौ याते हाइब लेब्रो पंचायत बॉडी की इलेक्शन तौना बीजेपी की गवर्नमेंट असिना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गाबदी इलेक्शन तौ लोकल बॉडी सिंह की फाइनेंस कमीशन की thousands of crore पैसा मयाम अमा हुजी इलेक्शन तौदबदगी पाइदना लेबिनी हुजी पैसा चंगम लेतजन लेबिनी thousands of crore 1000 crore 15 फाइनेंस कमीशन हुजी पर ग्रांट इनेट फंड सिनद्रीबिनी सी इलेक्शन तौदबैनी पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट लेरिङैदगी ना हाउस प्रेसिडेंट रूल बक इलेक्शन तौदबगी ने मसी संविधान गाई ब्रो बीजेपी ना खंडबियो मसी खंडबियो अरे सी 2017 दगी इलेक्शन करम तौरगे सी लोकल बॉडी मयाम सिंह सिदा संविधान ना क्लियर होएबा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की प्रोविजन मयाम सिंह तो गाइब्रा सी गात्रबने अदो मसी की मयाम सी की हाउसिंग 200 मी हेन सिग्रे अदगी 70,000 अमुक हुजिक डिस्प्लेस रिलीफ कैम्प द लैरी रिलीफ कैम्प द लैरी सिंसी रिलीफ कैम्प की प्रजा सिंह से कनाना कंट्रोल तौरी केबा एमएलए सिंह कंट्रोल तौबदगी डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट मैम पीब मैम से मसा मसा अकाउंट सु चंगदे RTI कया थारगा हंगबदा अदि टीवी कया लैखरे कंप्यूटर कया लैखरे करी करी मदुगी रियलिटी कनाना खंगदौरी रिलीफ कैम्प द लैरिबा बेनिफिशियरी सिंह मदुगी अवाबा मैम सिंह दो मधु RTI दा थाबा मतमदा बेनिफिटेड बेनिफिशियरी सिंह पियो हाइबदा सरकार ने पीरिदो करिगिनो व्हाट आर द रीजंस बिहाइंड रिलीफ कैम्प दा मखोय मखोय की सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने पीबा रिलीफ की मटेरियल रिलीफ की फंड RTI थाबा मतमदा पीरिदो मधु इज नॉट दैट वायलेशन ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन RTI सी एक नहीं एक तो करिगी पीबीद्री RTI एक्टिविस्ट सिंह थाबदा सिर्फ बीजेपी ने खुंबियो सोमदा चसेबा कांग्रेस ता ताइनादना एमपी दा ताइना लेदे सरो सोमदा चसेबा रिलीफ कैम्प दा हुजी कयाम वाना लेरिगे दो अखोय खंमिन दसेबा अखोय मोय अखोय की ब्लड ने अखोय इसिनी राव हाक्तने बा मोय की कयम खना बिदे अदुगा अदि कांग्रेस ने सोम तवंगम रि तौबिरोय व्हाट इज दिस इज इट दिस रिस्पांसिबल स्टेटमेंट ऑफ द बीजेपी लीडर former chief minister आई क्वेश्चन हंगे अखोइदा MLA मंगा लेबा MP नि लेबा सि सॉल्यूशन तो ngam di tau biro si is it that right statement of these responsible government, responsible these government, central government and the state government. Asi Angakpa ni hari. Aduna is completely law and order si aikoi ngakpa ngamkhidre haibasi aikoi huzik proof tawre president rule article 356 chanabasina law and order laihidre haibasi 13 aikoi February 13 February the president rule lakpase masi aikoi gi masina proof tawre asida tongan ba mob violence kana na thon buno mob violence kana karam matam da control tawkige masi constitution na piba mob violence for lebak ngakungam da basi mob violence control tawse constitution na pina bro nei na piu oksida khandabiyo akoi kyam wage si huji federation kyam wage khandabiyo illegal checkpoint myam sin kana na create tawi during which government illegal checkpoint myam da si kana na likhala lambano president rule letringai dagi illegal checkpoint le ramba mayam sin kana na thamamno. Whose responsible is this? Adugumba public lynching adagi to area singa tamda kanana masi kanana thon bano Congress ki leader rama Congress ki worker rama chatlaga tawba evidence lai bro. This is the whole responsibility of this double engine government during the popular government matam dane ningsing biyo sarkar fighting aida inclusive government laihibra go to here go to village chindadi phajadra do chindi bangakten package me am kai setkre chi failure of the government se am la kanda distraction tawa diverting issue me am tawu bodo da gasi gi violence me am ji koi thole ibni gasi aleriba skumba mayam group mayam adigi violence me am koi me am chi matam si government sina hojik lay government sina president rule sina hojik control tawge economic and the financial crisis masi Angakpa mongda financial crisis like 2021 the work program same ki bro 2021-22 major departments in the program same ki bro where is our tax aikoina praja singdagi aikoi gi low riba tax into 2021-22 the PWD ki major work departments hai masida road and the communication Kendra Humfuda development program taunana ba do program symbol werkanda akoi gi tender tawon dai da work program ka thathi do ningsing biri bro 2021-22 2023 the work program symbol 2024 the work program symbol 2025 president road work program symbol so tahi tari ni pan sida sahi mari bu work program semdragadi masigi government si kari government no aikoi gi budget ta kai thoi ba program sing road and communication road and the bridges masi sem na ba work program IFCD gi river one retaining wall adagi art filling of the different in the different rivers tongan ba turel the isau thokna ba precaution adagi maintenance mayam adagi dolai thabi gi dam matam chana maintain tawde dolai thabi gi dam si matam chana department si ikhaleba masi maintenance tawdragadi dolai thabi dam se andaki isau lakpada ising lakpa matam da ngak phonga maroi hai adu laina adu gi file process laina lupa ma pi gi deba adu ising je chaura kanda ai koi gi gate sing du overflow tawe adugi overflow to kanda hangduk no to kan gate to pulap pha ga puki gate to pulap na ising do one time ising do hoi down flow to re then Kongba river Imphal river ising je flooded way because of the failure to maintain the dolai thabi dam chi paisa maintenance to di sikari gino development program sikari gi matam chan sem da no then again ithai veres matam chan hangdi then 460 crore kai sakre paisa mayam sing jo thabak oina sude adugi even hangang kendra da 70 works program yawe 462 border akoi gi area development program da yawi aduga karim ta thaba paithate ising kai si khurai kendra haingang kendra wangkhai kendra asigi mayam ya school kendra chi mayam sing ji financial crisis si moi lehel because of this government due to the negligence of their officials and administrators masi mayam si tholi then adagi 2025 hujik president rule leire parliament ahogi budget puthre then hujik PWD ki program sendri kari kino water resources ki asigumba ising isau bi kanana bagi program sendri kari kino congress na lagi ngai dadi every year major department ai koi ki PWD department water resource department minor irrigation department then PICD department public health engineering department sahi kuni ki program sebe pipe piba adagi akoi ki water tank mayam sing akoi ki repairing tauba another construction of water supply scheme si mayam sahi kuni ki piba then sahi ahum mari hena work program semak tragadi akoi ki paisa budget si krai sathibno is become a big question masi krai se kharbuno hojik chu 2025 ki program amta semte akoi MLA ne khangi program amta semdradi asiki ising chawkhre nong chure adugi adu takho matam da lambi sing maintenance paisa paithokte adurgadi achawo financial crisis si uchi na chahibra adagi president rule government na sabra natraga mamangi government gi popular government leiringai da lokthokkiba misuse of fund me am to mekhalibra where is our the money public money akoi gi prasha me am sing do crisis kare ge haiba question ji financial crisis la pa hangning e aduna si asu mo mayam sing ji akoi tangai phadana mayam am lei kare adagi education department da hojik akoi gi pura fail oi ba gumbani wada water gi problem sugumo mayam sing ji right to education crisis kare masi constitution de piba mayam hak mayam sing si sarkar asina BJP gi lenga asina central government sina president government sina ai koi gi larik tam gi hak sing crisis kare tongan ba ai koi gi sahi gi leiriba program adagi tongan ba student de pigi de facility school college university mayam de pigi de ba tongan ba facility mayam pi de lei lack of tongan ba access to digital learning sugumba aikoi gi national ki thak ta paikhali mayam ji manipur da huji leitri aduna sugumba mayam adegi tongan ba hak mayam manghali adegi sarkar na promise to gi ba mayam ma lehande phanghandri ngasi bokta BJP lengang na promise to gi ba mayam kai phangre hoju ho phangri pot tei maman tang ba gi pot aikoi india da manipur na iwang wangi pithibhi da haira su yare adegi nahajing hujik thaba phungdabgi educated unemployment problem issues mayam am aware aikoi thingnani asuguma mayam sing asi aikoi BJP lenga sigi makhada akoi thingnari bani aduna constitution di BJP na ngakchadabani aikoi na constitution ngaktab leite congress ki matamda aduna asugumba failure mayam sing asi aikoi hojik asa tawde aduna maram murkanda last ta thamjaning mo wafam di संविधान का ननबा होनबदा लेगाक असिदा अफबा शांति अमा लाकननबा अफबा लेगाक शासन अमा लाकनबो होनबा मतमदा ngasi phawba initiative amata dialogue ki wari phaminaraga sanaba honaba leitri kuiman kare karam kanda ekoi lakani haiba ngamde lenga asida sa tawde maramasina ekoi anauwa hataru faraka dore president rule su adagi kayam kuina president rule thamgidage manipur da ekoi matam kharagi arrangement tawdu phare constitution piba provision ni ekoi respect tawi but miyam gi oiba ekoi hojik bisam amana sarkar sida karim ta haibang ngamde even the MLA sing praja gi representative ne hariba leiba MLA ekoi ne karim ta sarkar sida haiba da satpada adagi demand tawda satpanati praja gi interest ta sima wale na haiba da tabi bunati maramdi ekoi gi rights leite Maramaduna Constitution the people Article 356 the people oiragasu masi aikoigi hakti anamana leite Maramaduna aikoigi hak lainaba Prajagi hak lainanaba phrase we demand to dissolve the assembly and fresh election ano election friends of India We are here to against the observance of the BJP's Samvidhan Hatya Divas yesterday. Yesterday, almost all the state and even in Manipur also, they observed the Black Day, remembering the national emergency in 1975 during the period of Indira Gandhi's, during the Prime Ministers of Indira Gandhi. In fact, during those days, the nations became very alarming, and due to the RSS in 1975, India was in alarming state, and in many places of the nations, like in Bihar, Gujarat, UP, and different parts of the country, BJP architect the hatred each other and created violence almost all the states in India during that Indira Gandhi's period during that time. And because of that, this illegal activity of the BJP and the RSS and chaos made during those days, the then government, this Indira Gandhi's time, the legitimate decision was made, and the cabinet decision had been taken, and after that it was put up to the parliament. After that, due procedures of the constitution, which is given in Article 352, that is purely provision of the constitution, it was declared national emergency in those days. But in fact, it is the procedure and these provisions of the in the Constitution of India. There was no illegality, and it was a legitimate procedure of the then government Indira Gandhi's time. And but due to the ongoing Samvidhan Basau of the Congress Party, initiated by the All India Congress Party, so far we had been completed more than 600 places, including Manipur. In Manipur, we have completed 18 numbers of Samvidhan Basau in different constituency level and also at the state level. We have done 2 state level program of Samvidhan Basau. And due to fairness of this Samvidhan Basau program of the AICC, I think this BJP double engine government, all the time they feel afraid of our Rahul Gandhi ji and our Mallikarjun Kharge ji, our AICC president. And because of these our demands and the needs of this hour, they are unrest with this campaign and all. But our Congress party demand and detect it as after this 2014 and the 2017 in the state of Manipur, the Modi's government, it is just like or more than the undeclared emergency imposing in across the nations. You see, the machineries of the constitutional machineries totally fail, and the oppositions attack like anything, and communities, these adding fuels, hatred each others, and the unrest mind to the people of nations, and particularly in Manipur. You see, we are experiencing since 2017 in the state is uh, the the way of administration is we are facing totally failed. The youths are unrest. The different communities are in the turmoil situations, and particularly since 3rd May 2023, we are facing this unprecedented violence in the state, and there is no sign of development. There is no freedom of movement so far. It has been completed 785 days, and it's more than 2 years. We are facing like anything. The fundamental rights of the peoples are no more here in the state. And you see the different peoples are suffering a lot. The question of inflation, price rise across the state, which is the highest percentage in Manipur, and we can say that around the globe, Manipur is the highest inflation that the last 2 years. And you see the basic fundamental rights are violated. And you see during the emergency, they are comparing the Congress government and the BJP. It is very funny that during those days in 1975, that was the emergency, but now is the popular government. Is before the president ruled in the state, and now in the nation it is popular government. I mean, in the sense that this Modi government and the government. So there is no freedom of the journalists. When the comparison between the emergency in those days of 1975 and the popular government of Modi, so everybody has this freedom of freedom to the journalists. Many of these journalists who have a voice for their right, they are under threat, and also these register many cases against those journalists. And even in Manipur, before the president ruled, popular government, many of our journalists were in jail, even these under arrested under NIA, and the many youths, girls, leaders, women, they have also registered many cases and during the popular government. Series of violations of the constitution we are facing here in the state, we can mention in brief. And also before that, I'll just mention the statement of the former Chief Minister Shri N. Biren Singh and the former minister Mr. Biswajit Singh. They are this claim that in 2027 they will get thumping majority. These around 40 seats will get by BJP in the next 2027 election. It is a funny statement. Now still we have time, and it is around 1.5 years left. And if the BJP want to form the government, they can form the government. After this lifting this president rule, they can form the government. Why they are not forming the government? Why they are not keeping this popular government in the state? It is question to the BJP. So due to the failure and due to the absence of administrations in the last many years, the present situation in Manipur. Again, another thing, the honorable former minister's attack to the MPs is a funny. This is also funny that these two MP, we have our Congress 2 MPs, but the responsibility of the popular government and the BJP, even this president rule is also BJP president rule. It is directly controlled by the central government, and this is their responsibility to bring peace and normalcy in the state. They are blaming to the Congress party and the MPs of Manipur. So in fact, it is baseless, and it's become the childish statement. And it is not that we want. It's not that the people of Manipur want. So in fact, if they are very responsible person, they should take the responsibility. They should initiate dialogues between the communities, and they should effective enforcement of the constitutional machineries. That should be their responsibility. It's not the responsibility of the MP. But one thing I want to say is this: after this violence of 3rd May 2023, BJP MP and the Rajya Sabha MP, there was no single voice in the parliament. That's why the people of Manipur, this damn election, and for that reason, the 2 MPs elected from Congress, because of their negligence, there was no voice in the parliament. That's why people got angry and they voted to the Congress MPs. So that is the reason. But how can 2 MP and the 5 Congress MLA can bring peace in the state? But this is the whole responsibility of the present government and the central government. They should remind it, and they should check when they said about this thing. And instead of that, we are experiencing During the popular government, they could not maintain the law and order. Their failure, we are this experience. And after this president rule also, there is no much of development so far, and there is no free movement, and there is no fundamental rights that enshrined in the constitution. The peoples are suffering a lot. The IDPs in the relief camp still they are facing this huge problem, and even they don't have the ideas that how much they got these relief materials from the central government and the state government. They are not exposed and they are not transparent, and the people of the IDPs are asking, and even in the RTI they are not giving replies for many months. And this is the demand of the RTI activists, that how many of the beneficiaries are there, and how much of beneficiaries are there in the IDPs, and what are the funds that are provided by the central government. Is that is still not understood by the IDPs, those who are living in the relief camp. So our demand, the series of violations of the constitution by this present government, we demand during the popular government there was no administration, then after this position of the president it is more or less the same. That is why Congress party demand dissolution of the assembly, because they failed to form the government, they failed to administer the government, they failed everything. They are violating the constitution of India. Peoples are suffering a lot. The youths are roaming in here, very unrest in the situation. The youths are in very unrest at the moment. And that is why we demand fresh election. So let's see, if the former chief minister had the guts, then dissolve the assembly, discuss with your central ministers and Mr. Modi, and let us dissolve the assembly and do fresh elections. This is our demand. If they have the guts, everything is whatever you have stated, people know. And instead of blaming to the Congress party and the MPs and MLAs, in fact, it's nonsense. So do your responsibility and discuss this high command and do the needful for the people of Manipur. We want peace to restore. We want development. Where has gone the development programs for the last many years? There was no development program in 2021-22. There was no program in 2023, 24, 25. We're still asking in this president rule. The budget was passed in parliament, and there was no signs of these reflections of the development program in the budget. So how the people of Manipur, no development programs in the budget, in the major departments like PWD, Water Resources Department, PhD, Public Health Engineering Department, minor irrigation for the agriculture. Then if there were no program, then what is the need of this government? Why you are collecting taxes for the people if there is no development at all? This also we want to ask to the central government, and we want to ask this presidential government. So these are the things that the people suffering a lot. But in the last, I just want to brief a little about the present failure, series of violations of constitution in the state by the last government, popular government, and after this president rule, PR government. So now the failures, the violations of the provisions in the constitutions, peoples are facing, peoples know, the educated peoples knows, the general peoples knows. Now the financial crisis is a very serious issue in the state. Poor become poorer, rich become richer. How you are going to take this gap? Equality in the provisions, in the preamble of the constitution, we have now equality in economy. There should be equality, poor people and the rich people. That is provided in the constitution. Now poor become poorer, rich become richer, because you fail your scheme. You fail your own central fund, state fund, no development program. So poor people who need small schemes, but they are not getting. Whereas has gone the NRGS. Why you decrease the voices? Why you decrease the number of voices? Why you decrease the material components? These are all questions that you felt under your government. And where has gone these provisions of constitution in regards the freedom of movement? So far, 700, I think more than IT5 is going to be IT5. It's more than 2 years. So one community cannot go to other area, another community cannot go to other area. Is it this free movement exists in the state of Manipur? No. This is not this violations of the constitution. What is the fundamental rights? It's no more. You always try to pass laws in the parliament and the state assembly to disturb the minorities. Isn't that the provision of the constitution? So all these series of violations in the constitution of India. Why this government? Whereas gone the promises that you made in 2017 and 2014 in the center. Modi promised 2 crore jobs in every year. Whereas gone that job. Birenji and Biswarji, you made a strong statement in 2017. Just after the oath taking, you promised to the people that you will provide 1.5 lakhs jobs in every year. Where is that promise? Is that commitment made to the people? So far, no. So these are the series of failure of the promises, and you see the law and order. You committed yourself that you fail the law and order. You seek the apology from the people that the intelligence have been failed for the last 15 months. So even the intelligence department did not give the information to the home ministers, the DNC ministers. So whose mistake is this? Whose failure is this? Is it this the failure of the Congress MLA? No. This was the failure of the DNC ministers, home ministers. So why blaming to the Congress MP, Congress MLAs? It is quite baseless that you also think over that. Whether you charge to the Congress is right or not, you think over that. You see law and order, the frequent mob violence. Who should control that? There is the whole responsibility of the popular government after the presidential government. So many of these illegal checkpoints were set up. So during your popular government, public lynching in some areas that was occurred. So who was the responsibility during that time? Is there any evidence that Congress created these issues? No. That was the responsibility and the handiwork of the BJP government. And many of are theirs. And this is the whole responsibility of the governments. And you see, in the constitution, economic and the financial crisis, that should be this important part of the people of Manipur. And the elections of local bodies, ADC's elections in the hill areas, they were not done for the last 5 years. It's going to be more than 5 years. So people are so much of alarming that they are not getting their funds, the grant in aids from the central government under the 15th Finance Commission. Still, they are not getting the grant in aid funds from the 15th Finance Commission in the Autonomous District Council area. The small towns, Nagar Panchayat and the municipality, even the Imphal municipal corporations, the elections were not held in time, and funds are not disbursing from the 15th Finance Commission, which is grant in aid funds from the central government, which is very much mandatory of the constitution. And you see in the Panchayati Raj institution, only the NRGS funds are implementing nowadays, but in spite of that, the 15th Finance Commission is to be taken of the drainage, road construction, community halls in the rural areas. It is that are not there because the 15th Finance Commission, that is total free fund. The total grants. All funds are granted in aid that are not receiving by the panchayati bodies. So that is very unfortunate. Is not these violations of the provision of the constitution? The elections of panchayati raj, the elections of the municipalities and the town, and the elections of the ADCs are all in the provisions of the constitution. But under your BJP government, that were not done in time. So it's not this violations of the constitution. It is a total violations under your government. Even if president rule impositions, no, you have to do. You can do it. You can implement it, these elections. You suspended only these legislatures. Then the suspension is not there, the Panchayati Raj institutions, local bodies. So you have to do. You need to consult your leaders. You have to approach to the central government that we are facing here the violations of the constitution in the local bodies. Why you are not doing this thing? And you are blaming to the Congress and series of lies you are mad. This is what the people of Manipur facing in your government. So these are all the facing that problem. Basically, in Manipur now we are facing three major factors. One is the violence started since 3rd May 2023, and again this flood problem, flood issues. The handiwork of this present government, you flood is regarding this flood problem. This is the negligence of the officials of the Water Resources Department. Why it was? Why it is? We know that, we come to know that because of the negligence of these dams, these Dolai-Thabi dams, they failed to control and maintain the Dolai-Thabi dam. Gates were destroyed, and the one time went down the waters to the valley area, and it became the unprecedented flood in these Imphal East and Imphal West area. And after that, the Itai barrage that was not open in time, and with this series of failures, and again the project which have taken in 2021-22, that is border area program, that more than 460 crore were sanctioned and issued the work orders. That was not implemented in time. It came, and the failures to implement the programs in time, even if central government given the 460 crores to the Water Resources Department in the state, and this the misuse of fund and the negligence of the state government, and also the contract, the agreement that was also over due to these elections, and the flood was also occurred very seriously. And these are all these some of the points that flood issues, financial crisis, the failures of the violence to bring peace and the normalcy in the state. Instead of blaming to the Congress party and the MPs and MLAs of the Congress, then BJP former ministers and the ministers need to serious concern on the present issues and need to do their responsibility and to initiate dialogues and the effective enforcement of the constitutional machineries. And lastly, we need, so because you fail the popular government and you fail after this president, more or less the same, so it will be the best way. Then if you have guts, then let us dissolve the assembly and let us do the fresh election. What is the harm to you? That is the demand of the AICC and also our state Congress party. Thank you. Friends of India, we are here to against the observance of the BJP's Samvidhan Hatya Divas yesterday. Yesterday, almost all the state and even in Manipur also, they observed the Black Day, remembering the national emergency in 1975 during the period of Indira Gandhi's, during the Prime Ministers of Indira Gandhi. In fact, during those days, the nations became very alarming, and due to the RSS in 1975, India was in alarming state, and in many places of the nations, like in Bihar, Gujarat, UP, and different part of the country, BJP architect the hatred each other and created violence almost all the states in India.